Use it up, wear it out. Make do or do without. The American motto during the Great Depression. You may think that this slogan doesn't apply to you because you weren't around during that time, but frugality is in every word of that motto, and it touches every aspect of your financial life. Number 10. Don't pay for what you can do yourself. During the Great Depression, our grandparents wanted to save all the money that they could because they didn't know how long the Depression would last. They learned to do everything for themselves just so they wouldn't part with money to have someone else do it for them. Learning to do things for yourself allows you to gain some lifelong beneficial skills and also allows you to save money. For example, if your car suddenly stops in the middle of the freeway, you might be able to know what the problem is and fix it yourself. If you have no idea how to fix a car, you would have to call roadside assistance, which would cost you around $84 for a tire change. Another example you can emulate is painting your house. The lowest cost of hiring a painter to do your interior walls is $1,200, but it depends on the square footage of your home. You could pay as much as $6,000. Painting your house would require a willing worker, namely you, pizza, and beer for when you want to take an afternoon nap. Besides that, your money stays intact, and you paint your walls the way you want them done. Learning some basic skills in all areas of your life helps you to save money and the time it would take you to wait for someone else to come and do it for you. You also learn skills that can potentially earn you money, hence helping you reach your financial goals faster. Number 9. Buy reusable items. In the olden times, there were no paper towels, and our grandparents had to make do of cloth napkins, which lasted them a long time. They did not even have to buy the cloth napkins because they could use old t-shirts to make cleaning and wiping pieces out of them. Adopting this frugal habit can save you a lot of money, especially when you look at the numbers. A 12-pack of paper towels averages $20. Assuming you use it within 2 months, you would spend $120 a year on these disposable items. Also, having reusable containers saves you a lot of money on storage bags. When you want to store your foods, containers are the best because you can use them over and over. This saves you a potential $14 a purchase, which can add up with time. Instead of wasting money, you can buy reusable cloth napkins and save money. Better yet, you can find old pieces of clothes that you don't wear and cut out fabric that you can use to do your cleaning. Besides helping you declutter, we spend $0 and still get to have good quality cleaning cloths. Number 8. Be creative with gifts. We all know what gifts mean to different people, and nobody hates receiving gifts. But sometimes they can be crazy expensive. During the Depression era, our grandparents handmade gifts to give to their friends and loved ones. They collected material from around the house and made beautiful handmade gifts. To save money and adopt a frugal lifestyle, you should ditch running to the jewelry store to buy a $5,000 Rolex, and instead use your hands and talent to come up with a great gift such as a bracelet, a necklace, or shoes made out of car tires. Your loved ones would appreciate them because you've put your efforts to work and came out with a serious work of art. Doug Copeland said, "Handmade presents are scary because they reveal that you have too much free time." Well, we say it's the thought that counts, right? Number 7. Use natural remedies. During the Great Depression, buying over-the-counter medication for mild cases wasn't happening. Our grandparents would use natural remedies they would mix at home to cure illnesses such as the flu or food poisoning. They were trying to save as much money as they could so that they did not go broke. They also knew that natural remedies had no potential threats of allergy to them and also saved them money. They would use natural remedies such as ginger, lemon, garlic, basil leaves, among others, to treat such cases. Instead of going to buy over-the-counter flu medication and spending about $20, you can make a natural remedy consisting of honey, ginger, mint leaves, and lemon to lessen the effects of the flu. These are ingredients most households usually have. You can find many great ingredients and recipes you can use to make your natural remedies tastier and more effective. You treat your cold and flu the natural way, without fear of having an allergic reaction to any kind of medication while saving your money in the process. See the pattern? Grandma's recipes work all the time. Number 6. Save your scraps. Do you think our grandmothers threw away citrus peels? No, they didn't. Instead, they made powerful cleaners and air fresheners out of them to clean kitchen counters and keep the house smelling fresh. They also grew their own food and never threw away any scraps. They made fertilizer and compost from other kitchen scraps, and their gardens were brilliantly thriving. Don't throw your scraps into the trash. You can save $6 by making your own cleaner using your citrus peels. If you have a garden, you can use other kitchen scraps to make compost for your garden soil, instead of paying $25 for a yard of store-bought compost. Look around your house and see what you can recycle and use it to your advantage as your grandparents did during the Great Depression. It saves you some money and teaches you frugality. Number 5. Use up before buying new. Our grandparents during the Depression era ensured that there was no cooking oil left in the jar before claiming it for reuse. They would cut up the toothpaste tube to ensure they had used all the precious paste. What do you do with your items? Do you just replace them because they've lasted long enough on your shelf? Or do you work the jar clean? Don't rush into the store to buy a $1,000 pair of shoes just because an Instagram model won't stop gushing about them. Use the ones you have until the soles look like it has seen better days before replacing. This helps you save money and disciplines you on how to make wise financial decisions. After all, my grandparents made do with one pair of shoes and didn't die from it. You can too if you're serious about becoming financially independent. Number 4. Upcycle instead of throwing out. Your grandparents did not ditch old furniture and dash to the then booming Bailey Table Company to purchase new furniture. They looked around the homestead for what they had to spruce up their furniture. With the digital age of the internet, there are a gazillion ideas on how to spruce up your house without spending all of your savings. You can go to thrift stores and buy materials such as throw pillows for cheap and feed your decor imagination. Before you decide to throw things out, think of creative ways you can reuse them to help you stretch that dollar. It helps you keep your house free of clutter and saves you money as well. Number 3. Don't use a credit card. During the Great Depression, there were no options for credit card use, and our grandparents transacted in cash only or other forms of trade. This allowed them to stretch their dollar the best way they knew how and allowed them to have money to spend on important things. Using your credit card is a big disaster when you want to save money because you find yourself spending more than usual when you go shopping. For example, if you're shopping for your winter clothes, you might be distracted by the nice $50 fur bag and toss it into your shopping cart. The thing is, you have not only spent $50 on an impulse buy, but you have also paid processing and transaction fees for it. Using cash allows you to realize the amount of money you want to exchange for an item and decide if it's worth spending that amount on it. To go by Dave Ramsey's rule, if you can't pay cash for it, you can't afford it. Stick to that rule, and you will never spend your money blindly again. Number 2. Borrow single-use items. If our grandparents did not need a wood chipper every other week, they wouldn't buy it. Instead, they would borrow from a neighbor, get the job done, and return it in good condition. They never spent money on single-use items because they knew it would be a waste. There is no need to buy things that you rarely use. For example, unless you are a kids entertainer, there is no need to buy $300 bouncy houses and water slides for a yearly event. You can borrow them from friends or rent them for cheap. There are also community groups dedicated to exchanging goods and services. You can find a local group in your area and find out if they can exchange an item you need with the one you have and are not using. That way, you get to have the equipment you want without spending a single dime. This frugal tip helps you save money and gets you the things you need for that moment. Before we get into number 1, make sure to check out the links in the description for our best recommendations to boost your savings. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more valuable content. Number 1. Go vegetarian a few times a week. During the Depression era, eating meat was a luxury, and most dinners and lunches were made up of vegetables and other plant proteins. Our grandparents ate their meals happily, even without the option of meat. You can adopt that frugal lifestyle of going without meat a few days a week and save money. We can all agree that buying meat can cost you a lot. For example, a family of 4 eats 74 pounds of meat a month, which translates to 2.4 pounds a day. A 2.25 pound pack of ground beef costs $11 at Walmart. This means that if they eat ground beef chuck for a month, they'd spend $67.50. This is equal to $810 a year. Going meatless does not mean that you're depriving yourself of protein, but it can help you save a pretty decent amount of money. You can substitute some meat days with plant proteins such as lentils, beans, black-eyed peas, and other proteins that are just as good. You save money and eat nutrient-rich food. We wouldn't say no to that, would you? Make sure to check out the next video. You're going to get a ton of value from this one. See you there.